Here we are. Good evening, Clark. Here we are live on our YouTube channel. At least we're on the right YouTube channel this time. Not like the last time when I put it on my own personal YouTube channel. But we managed to. So I had to download it and then re-upload it into the Tasting Bothy YouTube channel. So are you well?
Yes, oh yes, Conky Dory. Yeah.
Good.
And yourself?
Smashing. Yes, aye, very good. Thanks very much. I'm obviously been participating in Doddy Aid this year, and I've been riding my Peloton bike every day for anything between. It's usually an hour. I like to be on the bike for an hour, but sometimes I've done 2 30-minute sessions. Sometimes I've done a 45-minute session with maybe a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool-down on the other end. And I've also done maybe an hour's ride with a 10-minute warm-up and a 10-minute cool-down on the end. So I've been kind of interspersing it throughout the week. So I've now done 14 sessions on the bike. So it's been good. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Did about 145 miles, and we've raised £320 so far on my Just Giving page. So I'm really pleased just with the amount of folk that have supported me and encouraged me. So it's been brilliant. So super. So tonight we are going to try what did I call it? The Cheshire. The Cheshire.
The Cheshire. So that's what it's called. So I can write that in my book, the Cheshire.
You can write that in your book. Yes, it's called the Cheshire. Now I was down south for my work's Christmas do back in December, and I stayed at a hotel called the Wellington Hall, and I had gone into the bar in the evening before all the kind of guests arrived. I thought, have a quick half pint, go and get myself showered and then ready for everybody coming. And they had some lovely real ales, which you and I like, made by a local brewery called the Wheatwood Brewery, which was just literally 200-300 yards along the road for the hotel in a place called Tarperley. So I got chatting to the... Yeah.
The most important thing here, did you bring any back with you?
I didn't bring any of that back with me, no, I didn't.
Oh, right, just carry on the story then.
I drank it all, sorry. But I know where to get more of it. So, which was the main point. So I got chatting away to the barman there, and I noticed behind the bar was this lovely box, and I said to him, "Oh, Cheshire English whiskey. I said, what's that like?" And he said to me, "Would you like to try it?" Well, I thought it'd be rude not to, since he made such a lovely offer.
That's right.
So he poured me a glass, which I nosed and tasted, and I thought it was really, really nice. So when I came home, I thought, well, there's only one thing to do, and that's to get a bottle of this and to share it with yourself and do a wee tasting in the tasting bothy of an English single malt whiskey called the Cheshire from the Wheatwood Distillery. Now,
it doesn't sound right, but okay.
I know it doesn't, but anyway, we've almost managed. We've managed to get through the part of single malt snobbery and have blended malts as well, which we've discovered there's some wonderful blended malts out there. So we might be surprised with this English malt. So that was part of it. The other thing is they only made about 2,500 bottles.
Right.
And the bottle I have happens to be bottle number 1901, which is written on the back of it. So there's not many. I know there wasn't many left, because when I went to the distillery the following day to try and buy one, they didn't have any in the shop. They were sold out. So I actually got this from can't remember what it was called, some sort of whiskey company, rare whiskey company, or difficult to find or something it was called. So I managed to get it for there. So without further ado though, because we've done enough talking and we should be doing a bit more nosing and drinking, and we'll take that for there. But all I'm going to say to you before we start, go on then, you fire away, ask me some questions, I'll tell you no lies.
Has it got an age?
It's a non-age statement.
Okay.
No age at all.
Right. And what's the
It's
cask?
46. Yes, well, let me tell you a wee bit about that, because I did a bit of digging when I was down there to find out about it, to see what it was. So it's matured in American oak quarter casks.
Mm.
And these American oaks are casks that have been shaved, toasted, and recharred.
Right, okay.
So, and then it's finished in European oak barrels.
All right.
So they tell me that it's been a journey of many years. I've gone in and I've went to great lengths to create the flavour that they've got in the character.
Mm-hmm.
They also believe that this is the first English malt whisky from Cheshire. It's a natural colour and it's non-chill filtered, they told me. So, which, I mean, I had a great time. I had a great time there chatting about it and learning about it. So that's as much as I can tell you. The rest is now down to your nose and palate.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks nice.
It's a lovely colour.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. It's quite an amber colour to it, I suppose, is the way I would describe it.
That's funny.
You know, so I look forward to you nosing it, because I think it's got the nose is absolutely fantastic on it. And I remember the first time I nosed it down there, and then that evening I spent some time that night with a number of the guests that were at the Christmas party, and we must have finished the rest of the bottle that was that they had in the bar between us, sharing it and nosing it and chatting about what was in it. So get your nose on about it and tell me what you think.
Here we go then. Oh. Oh. Oh.
How nice is that?
It's unusual. That's not at the top what I was expecting.
No.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't that.
Yeah. The first thing that really hits you, it's got a kind of Cointreau-ish nose to it with the orange blossom.
Orangey, aye, ha, ha, ha.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. I
Really
thought it smelled a wee bit. I thought it was a kind of furniture polish smell. Was the first thing I got.
Well, I suppose I get that. No, I get that as well. It's got that linseedy kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
But it's so fragrant. It's unbelievably fragrant.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very floral. I mean, I get loads of stuff in it.
It's a light flower, like an elderflower or something like that. It's quite nice.
Aye. I get I've got hints of lavender and
aye.
jasmine. The strongest is the orange blossom bit.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
And really, it's got a kind of pineapple wee bit to it.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's quite complex. There's loads of stuff in it. I just love it. It's very sweet on the nose as well. But I really get what you mean by that beeswaxy type.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed. And once I got around that, you can begin to smell all the other things coming through. The flowery. You're right.
So for me,
it's a nice nose.
Yep. For me, who likes my peated malts, this is completely and utterly in the opposite direction for any kind of peated malt. It's really floral. I think it's beautiful. It's got a beautiful nose to it.
I like it. I do like it.
Well then, we'll now need to taste it and let's see what its palate's like to you. So, your good health.
And yours. Cheers.
Slange. I don't know if that's a stunned silence, Clark, or you just...
I've never tasted a whiskey like this before. This is really quite different.
Yes, and
really
that's why
different.
that's why I had to buy a bottle of it and that's for to taste it, because I was exactly the same. As soon the first time I nosed it, it was like never nosed anything like this before. This was absolutely fantastic. And then when I tasted it, I thought, this is actually really, really nice.
It is nice, but it is not what you'd expect. It's
from a malt whiskey.
Aye, absolutely. Aye, Well, need another taste.
Aye, because that first one, and then you just kind of, it then begins to sit in your palate and on your tongue, and there's loads of stuff that, again, quite complex. I like it. It's sweet. It's got that malt that sits on your tongue. But then there's that peppercorny spiciness to it.
There is, aye. There's not a huge finish to it. It's all taste.
Aye, because I think it's because it's so smooth and so kind of mellow.
Might be, aye.
And I mean, you're just left with that sweetness on your tongue. It's got a kind of caramelized apples, or that.
Oh yes, toffee apple. I know what you're saying.
Aye. You know what I mean when you get that kind of toffee-ishness. It's lovely. I was.
When you try this again?
I don't need to try and see if I can buy another bottle.
That orange
really is.
again, but it's
I know. Yes, you've got. Yeah.
Orange peel than oranges, but there's a wee bitterness about it as well. Funny enough. You're talking about it being very sweet, but there's actually kind of bitterness right across the bottom. Once you've swallowed it.
I think when you first take the mouthful of it, it's quite
very sweet.
It's quite sweet on the palate. It's quite creamy, and you get that malty taste, and then you've got all the tropical fruits and the oranginess that you get with it, which is lovely.
Yeah.
But then, like you're saying, there is a wee kind of hint of bitterness that's left there, and you're left with that kind of spiciness that comes from it. It's like a wee hint of ginger or something that's in it. But then once it's finished, it's quite smooth. It's mellow. There's no burn in your chest with it. It's got a wee bit spice, and then you're left with that caramelized toffee apple finish to it.
Creaminess.
I like this
creaminess. I like it as well. I do like it.
It's easy to drink. I mean, anybody that was trying malt whiskey for the first time, wouldn't have a problem drinking that. I wouldn't have thought. I could also see this being used, in a cocktail or something like that, because it's got so much fruitiness in it. You can see somebody maybe adding that to, I don't know if what it would be like with maybe a ginger ale in it or something like that.
That's what I was thinking. Ginger ale.
Aye, you could do something like that with it, because it's got that. It's just. I think it's lovely. It's lovely.
It is. It's very nice. It's very.
And it must be good. Now, this is where it's going to be funny for me, because I don't think I've ever had I don't think I've ever ticked the box that says dried fruits and nuts in my book.
I see what you're saying. Oh yes, it is, aye.
It's very light. I mean, I love the colour of it. But I do love the flavour. I think it's brilliant.
I would say it's florally as well. Elegant and floral is another good description.
Definitely.
The description given us in the book here. It's
definitely.
It's nice.
And once you've had a couple of mouthfuls and then you nose it again, it has got that orange blossom in it. It's just, which you didn't expect to have really in a malt whiskey.
I would say it's got a lot less nose now that I've tasted it.
Yep. Aye, because you just end up with this orange nose in it. But to be fair, this is their first release, it says on the bottle. They've done a good job here.
It might be relatively young then, since I've
It might well be.
it.
Yep. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I might give them a wee phone call and have a conversation with them and just see if they can talk to us. Maybe one that we can have another discussion about at some point in the future, because if anybody was picking this up on YouTube and watching it and thinking, oh, maybe go and try and get one of these, it might be really difficult to actually to get a bottle. I would like. I mean,
it'd be interesting, I think, to get that when it was older. See if they maybe 12-year-old or something like that taste it, because I think it would be an absolute cracking half.
Aye.
I think so. I think it's maybe a bit young. I think that's why they've got an age on it. But I think that if it took the time to mature it, I think that'd be an absolute stoker.
Yeah. Now, what I can tell you about this company is they started making this. Now, I'm going to hazard a guess that this might only be 3 years old or something.
I think it's quite young.
Because they started to make it in the pandemic. This is what the chap was telling me in the hotel. And obviously they then turned their hands to making hand sanitizer. See what I did there? And so during the pandemic they made hand sanitizer while this was maturing. So it might be something that's quite young, maybe 5 years, 8 years, something like that. But it's a good dram. It is a good dram. And I think, I'll be interested to see what else they produce coming forward. I like this. I do like it. Well, yeah. So we need to now put the scores on the doors and see where we are. Because I think this must score quite well. Because it can't be done in the 18s, 19s, and 20s. It can't. I can't put it in the 18, 19s. I know. I mean, each of the sections, because we normally have 4 sections out of 25.
That's right.
And all the areas of the nose and the palate and the finish, maybe the finish not so much, but I think when we look at it, I think it's got to be up there, reasonably well up there, because we've had some drams recently and I've went okay, but we've been disappointed maybe with the nose, or we've been disappointed with the finish. So
I know I'm horrified that this English malt has done better than the 10-year-old in the Begging Rabbit.
Is that?
Yeah, I think they've done very, very well with this. This is very good. It's unusual. All the tastes.
Maybe that.
Not what you expect.
No.
Not what you expect.
So, I've scored at 89, Clark.
Oh, there you go, Snap.
Well, that's unusual, because normally we're very. I'm usually slightly ahead of you or slightly behind you.
That's right.
I've scored this 89. The only thing that lets it down for me is the finish. The nose and the palate is great. My overall impression of it's been brilliant, but
yes,
that's the only thing is the finish that maybe lets me down a wee bit with it. But if I could buy another bottle of that, I would have that, just so that people know kind of price point wise, it's about 60 quid a bottle. But I think that's maybe to do with its rarity, Clark. There are only 2,500 bottles of it.
Right.
So it could be down to the fact that as they become less and less, people are taking advantage of the fact that, well, there's only a few left of these. Because I know that trying to find a bottle wasn't easy. Some of the places that I would normally buy whiskey for, well, one, a lot of them had never heard. I'd never heard of it before. and the ones that had heard it were sold out. So it's maybe one of these little gems of whiskies that a bottle of that stuck away at the back of the cupboard might in the next 10 years or so.
Let's see where you're going with this one.
Might. Aye. You could get, I think, you know, might be a bit of a surprise in years to come. As they get a bit better known, you know. But I would say to you as well as their beers are brewing off.
The beers are brewing off.
So I'll see
I like it down
acquire.
I like it down that way, wouldn't you? Maybe we need to drag the caravans down one day.
Well, no, not just for the day. I think we need to go down a wee bit longer than that. Dragging it down there for the day would be a bit far.
We could start off with a day and then just keep it going.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's finish off this wee bit here, and then we can sit and have a chat once we're no longer live and catch up, see what your plans are for the week and whatever. But if anybody's interested and they can find a bottle somewhere, it's called the Cheshire. It's made by Wheatwood Distillery and Wheatwood Ales. That's wheat, W-E-E-T. Yep, Wheatwood. And they're based down in Tarporley in Cheshire. So, lovely dram. Well worth trying to find one if you can. If you want something that's a wee bit unusual to have in your collection, that would be lovely. So anyway, folks, it's good night for the 2 years, and we will catch up with you. I think somebody else used that catchphrase. I can't think we can use that. So
been used as
I think we'll need to come up with another catchphrase for us. But from us both in the tasting bothy, have a great night, and we will see you all again soon. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Right.